Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Who will have a better season, DK Metcalf or George Pickens? The Steelers traded for DK Metcalf in March, then traded George Pickens in May. Who will have the better season? Metcalf is, of course, with the Steelers, while Pickens is now a Cowboy. Unless the two teams make the Super Bowl this year, they won't play one another. But you can bet there will be a lot of George Pickens talk during Steelers games, especially during tough times. Or if Pickens is doing crazy things, good or bad, out in Dallas. The first variable to consider is quarterback play. George Pickens will have Dak Prescott, while DK Metcalf will have either Mason Rudolph or Aaron Rodgers with the Steelers. Either way, I think almost everybody would agree that Pickens is in the better situation. That is if Prescott stays healthy. But at least he shows up, unlike Rodgers. During his 3-year career with the Steelers, Pickens authored big plays, but only 12 touchdowns. Metcalf's production has waxed and waned some, but he will be the featured playmaker with the Steelers. And both Rudolph and Rodgers are capable of pushing the ball down the field. Some of Pickens' best opportunities were in late 2023 with Rudolph at quarterback. Mind you, this is about the performances of individual players, not team success. This is also not about who will be the better professional or better for their team. Specifically, I'm looking at who will have the better season on the football field. Both DK Metcalf and George Pickens have changed their locations for the first time in their careers, a neutral variable. Both have also played with different quarterbacks, sharing Russell Wilson in their history. One gets the sense that the Steelers' decision to acquire DK Metcalf and trade George Pickens wasn't exclusively related to football. It seems they determined Pickens wasn't somebody they could trust to commit large sums of money to. Once they signed Metcalf to a $150 million contract, that pretty much put the for sale sign up. We might never know if the Steelers would have really stuck it out with Pickens this year had the Cowboys not upped their offer after the draft. That's the impression they gave, but who knows what would have happened in July and August. Now in new environments, though, the real story for both Pickens and Metcalf begins in September. The dissection of the Steelers' trade of George Pickens continues, with one reporter claiming the vets grew weary of him. Appearing on number 1 Cochrane Sports Showdown last night, Mark Kaboly had some strong thoughts on the subject. I think it needed to be done, he said of the Steelers trading Pickens. I think it was getting really ugly behind the scenes there. And I think some of the players of veteran leadership weren't too thrilled with George Pickens. I don't know the timeline on that. So I think that pushed it to the edge. Kaboly did say that the Steelers would not have done the George Pickens trade for a 4th-rounder. That was as high as the Cowboys were willing to go during the draft, but they upped their offer afterward. While that may be the case, that doesn't change the dynamics of the locker room. I think a lot of the players were finally fed up with him, and the right players were fed up with him, Kaboly added. He didn't elaborate on who the right players were who were tired of George Pickens. I'm sure we can make reasonably educated guesses as to whom, as presumably they need to be important. Still, I won't get in the business of speculating by offering specific possibilities. The Steelers drafted George Pickens in the 2nd round in 2022. He played his first 3 seasons here, averaging about 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns per season. While he didn't lack for highlight reel plays, his production did not make up for the headaches. Presumably, if that were the case, he would still be here. Rather than allow him to play out his rookie contract, the Steelers traded Pickens to the Cowboys. They received in return a 2026 3rd-round pick and a 2027 5th-round pick in exchange for a 2027 6th. The speculation is that they are amassing draft capital for 2026 in the hopes of moving up for a quarterback. Many questioned what a final season would look like with Pickens playing out his contract. In hindsight, I'm not sure it matters since it doesn't seem he or the Cowboys are in a rush to sign an extension. It appears that he wants to play out his contract in the hopes of improving his value for free agency. For what it's worth, George Pickens played the good soldier during his introductory press conference with the Cowboys. Although there was a claim that surfaced yesterday that he badmouthed the Steelers on social media, he denied it. Yet multiple reporters still seem convinced that some in the Steelers organization, including in the locker room, perceived Pickens as a liability. "I think their greater good was that they were going to be the bigger cancer than you may have thought it was," Kaboly said. "Those are strong words, but we don't know what happened behind the scenes. The Steelers generally do a good job of keeping things in-house. Previous reports indicate they fined him plenty, and that he showed up late regularly. On numerous occasions, they publicly declared that he needed to grow up. Considering Pickens is no longer here, perhaps they decided it wasn't worth their efforts anymore to try to facilitate that." Pittsburgh Steelers sign massive Hawaiian offensive lineman after rookie camp. The Pittsburgh Steelers are signing offensive lineman Gareth Warren after his rookie minicamp tryout, a source told Penn Live. Alex Kozora of Steelers Depot first reported it. Warren came to Pittsburgh on a tryout basis, and the team brought in multiple offensive linemen with depth needed on the interior at offensive tackle to fill out the depth chart. He projects as an offensive tackle, standing at 6'5", coming out of Lindenwood. He is the second known signing after running back Trey Sermon. Warren is 328 pounds while running a 5.22 40-yard dash with a 1.81 10-yard split. Warren has 33 5/8-inch arms, giving him enough length to stay at offensive tackle if that is what the Steelers view him as heading into the offseason. Warren participated in the East-West Shrine Bowl this past season and was an All-Ohio Valley Conference selection 3 seasons in a row. He played left guard and left tackle, making him a versatile player for the Steelers. The Steelers lack offensive tackle depth, with Broderick Jones, Troy Fautanu, and Calvin Anderson likely to make the roster. Behind them, there is a lot of openings, however, which could allow Warren to have a chance at making the team's final roster or the practice squad. Aaron Rodgers to Pittsburgh Steelers, 3 telling signs that rumors might be true. Aaron Rodgers has become the hottest free agent ahead of the NFL schedule release. Aaron Rodgers has become the hottest free agent ahead of the NFL schedule release, with the Pittsburgh Steelers, New Orleans Saints, and even the Miami Dolphins vying for the 4-time MVP. The 41-year-old could also possibly have retirement on his mind. While nothing is confirmed, we were able to spot a few clues linking Rodgers to Pittsburgh. Here are 3 telling signs that the rumors of Rodgers signing with Pittsburgh might be true. Aaron Rodgers' positive visit. Rodgers has openly praised his interactions with the Steelers, fueling optimism about a potential union. During an April appearance on The Pat McAfee Show, he described his visit to Pittsburgh's training facility as really productive, noting he spent 6 hours meeting with coaches, including head coach Mike Tomlin, to understand what life would be like in Pittsburgh. He emphasized the value of getting to know the organization intimately, suggesting a genuine interest in the team's culture and vision. Steelers president Art Rooney too said, "We keep hearing that he's headed in our direction, and so that seems to indicate that all signs are positive so far." And you, fan? What do you think about Aaron Rodgers' situation? Write to us in the comments.